Hey, and welcome everyone to the third episode of Passion Project Management. I'm Joseph Afon, and excited to have you here. So let's just jump right in. What this episode about is the creative process, right? And what is the creative process? And I think for everyone, it is different, and that's totally righteous, right? Like there's so many different ways that you can bring about creations into this world, and everyone's individual process probably allows them to express themselves in the way. One of the things that I was thinking about earlier this week was how these live streams are going to go. For right now, it's just been me, and I've been dying to get guests on, and I know it takes more work on my part to line them up and to figure out how we're going to tell stories, right? Because what I said originally was that I didn't want it to just be me up here, right? It's certainly fun, but the talking head thing I think will get pretty old. But as I was thinking about my own creative process earlier this week, I realized that maybe what I need to do is open up that conversation with the creative people in my life and ask them what their process is. And I think by asking them that question and having them answer, we're gonna, not just see one person's creative process, but a wide swath, right? Not only different people with different backgrounds, but different art forms, different mediums, right? Someone who's a songwriter is going to have a different creative process than someone who's a painter. And that person is going to have a different process than someone who is like an event organizer, right? So I think that might be the core question for the following episodes. Testing out this live stream, seeing if it's worth it to dive into passion project management. Because what project management is a process, right? And with passion projects, there's so much creativity involved. And it might seem like an unwieldy concept of straddling this creative process that is wild and messy. But that might be the place where we can say, hey, if you reorganize the way that you're doing things, or if you do things in a different order, maybe the creative process can be easier on the person and a little bit less messy, right? Either way, it's an amazing feeling to develop your process and to fine tune it. Even just starting this live stream, it's taken me so much longer than I thought and so much more testing, but it has taught me so much about live production, right? There's nothing more intense and real than doing it in the moment, and the amount of pre-production that it took, 10 times the amount that I thought it was going to. And we're still not done yet. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure this out. But when I ask myself, what's my creative process, I have to say that I hadn't even really thought too much about my own, because in the moment, you don't really stop to think about it. And even that gives me pause to be like, well, maybe you should think about it a little bit more, right? So if I had to say that my creative process, super simplified, is that an idea will just burst into me. And I try, if I have the time, to get it out in some medium. Like this morning, Thursdays are my music school days, and this morning a song just came out of me on the bass, and then I wrote the beginning of a song, and it was just boom, that came out. So it's taking the idea, and if I have the time, trying to get it out get it outside of my head and into something, whether it's a recording or on a piece of paper, or even sometimes it's just organizing your house, right? Like you want to rearrange all your furniture, just doing that. So, but I got to ask all of you, what is your creative process? Whether it's painting or art or whatever creative endeavor. I want to ask, what is yours? And you can leave, messages in the comments, or you can email me. But this is also this is spreading the word so that I can have more guests on to dive into a little bit more dynamic way of exploring these topics. So yeah, leave a comment or hit me up and we'll talk about it. I think once we have a bunch of different folks' experiences in their creative process, I think then we're going to be able to go and kind of analyze that and see recurring themes, right, amongst people, and then also identify the individualistic processes that some people have. And maybe once we start identifying the trends that are showing up, maybe that shows that most of us share similar aspects of our process. And hopefully I think Eric's outside. Hopefully we can work from there. One other thing that I'm really going to be focusing on in the upcoming is less kind of uptight production. Like, this is fun, but more just hanging out and more doing the work of creativity and talking about how we can organize to be more efficient with it. We're about to hopefully record an EP next month, and so me and my friend are preparing feverishly for that, and I've got a bunch of projects on the docket, and so hopefully I'm designing them so that they can be pretty interactive and you all can hang out while we're working on them, and we can try to apply passion project management principles onto what we're doing, and I hope that will be enjoyable for you. All right, so the next time you see me, there will be a guest on here. I can swear to you on that. Too much of me. Let's get going with this. But for now, have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time.